here. If you call your next witness, please. Sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Trying to get this one folded up and out of the way.
Chair. Yes, sir.
I most likely will not cross my own client and reserve the right to comment on my testimony.
If you would please state your name and assignment.
My name is John Dothier. I'm a Baton Rouge police officer assigned to Uniform Patrol.
If you would, please turn to Exhibit 2 in our binder. Turn to page 3 of 4.
Turn to page 3,
3 of 4.
3 of 4. Gotcha. Okay.
This is your report, correct? Page 3 and 4.
Yes, sir.
All right. If you would look at the third line, say that this was a call for service, specifically an elderly man was found in his home unresponsive, correct?
Yes.
I want to go down to the 4th paragraph now. And you're talking to the brother, as I understand it. It says, I asked him if he saw anything that concerned him that his brother had been the victim of violence, but he said that he had not. That's what you were told by the brother, correct?
Yes.
In your report, you didn't indicate that anyone else told you that any kind of violence was done to Arthur Brady, correct?
Correct.
Now, we watched the video earlier where you were communicating with Ms. Smith. And there was a portion of that video, you said the only reason that you were there is you were after, or the only reason you were there, you were after to see if someone hurt this man, referencing Arthur Brady.
Right.
And then you said, well, we don't think there is.
Right.
You recall saying that?
Right.
So at that point, when you were discussing with her what you believed, you said you didn't think there was reason to believe somebody had hurt him. True?
At that point, we had no reason to believe that someone had hurt him, but that was the very purpose for us needing to go and make that determination ourselves.
So at that point, the information that you had was that you had an 80-year-old or almost 80-year-old man found unresponsive in his home. His brother told you there were no signs of violence, correct?
He did not. He did not believe that there were any signs of violence. You're correct.
Let's go to Exhibit 9, please. This is the pre-disciplinary hearing notice that you received. Is that correct?
It appears to be, yes, sir.
All right. And we look at pages 3, 4, and 5. It lists all of the different charges with which you were charged in this case. That would be 1-7, completion and submission of required forms, 2-11, conduct unbecoming an officer, 2-13, digital mobile video, including body on camera, and 3-17, carrying out orders, which refers to General Order 209, arrest, General Order 319, warrantless searches, and 320, use of force. That's correct. Listing all of those.
I would agree with you in principle and for the most part. However, I would have to disagree with you somewhat when you say that it lists General Order 209 and General Order 319. While it does say those things, those policies are both very large, And there are a number of things that could be violated in any one of those. So, yes, sir, I do agree with the premise that you gave me a general idea of what I might be facing, but certainly nothing specific for me to know what I was defending myself against.
But they were referenced, we would agree that the policies were referenced in the previous letter.
The large policies were referenced. They were, sir.
Now, turn to page 6 of the notice. You signed it on April 2021, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Well, for that goes P9.
Thank you, sir.
You had requested that Chief Paul not preside over your predisciplinary hearing, and you were informed prior to the hearing that he would not preside over it. The deputy chiefs would handle that role, correct?
Again, I'd agree with you partially on that. I did request that Chief Paul recuse himself, but I also requested that Deputy Chief Myron Daniels also recuse himself. So just to make sure that we're clear on what my request was.
You are aware that the chief recused himself from the case?
I was told that he had recused himself, yes, sir.
Now, you did not appear for the predisciplinary hearing, correct?
No, I submitted a letter in lieu of appearance.
Yeah, if you return to Exhibit 16, please. Now, is this a copy of the letter that you submitted in lieu of your appearance?
It does appear to be, sir.
All right, well, for that is P16.
Thank you.
Go to the next page. This is Exhibit 18. In response to the ruling, you filed a request for appeal with the board, correct?
I did.
And this is a copy of your appeal request?
That's a copy of the handwritten appeal request. There was some miscommunication about what was required between Ms. Stovall and I. I had previously submitted via email typed request for appeal hearing that met all the requirements of the statute, Title 33, I forget which one it is. And so she, for some reason, we had a miscommunication, so I did this as supplement to that, and then there was also a second supplementary request for appeal hearing that was filed via email as well.
In this request for appeal hearing that you see before you at Exhibit 18, the relief sought, you stated a complete reversal of all those discipline, correct?
Yes.
And of course, in addition to attorney fees on that. We're going to offer this as a PD 18.
Thank you.
I want to walk somewhat through the charges against you. Let's go back to the scene with Ms. Smith. Okay.
Okay.
We saw it on the video. You're talking to her when she was in her home, and she said, you don't have a warrant. She started closing her door, right?
Right.
At that point, she was inside her home, correct?
Barely, yes, sir. She was just inside the threshold. That's correct.
Just inside the threshold, door was closing in front of her, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You stopped her from closing the door and reached into her home and pulled her out of her home to get her out on the porch. We agree there?
I did.
Okay. So would you agree you had to go into her home to subsequently get her out of the home and then put handcuffs on?
My arm did reach into the threshold to grab her, yes. I don't believe that my body went in, but not sure if that's even